Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So recently we did a video on habits, talking about some of the minor things that can stop you from improving at the game, and in said video I asked you guys what your worst habits that you've seen are, and it actually went from these little niggling things that stop you from improving as a player to major mistakes that you may not realise that you're doing. Well, today me and Iostux got together again to discuss those minor mistakes that you can make that can actually very easily be game losing.
You know this moment. You're playing a round of King of the Hill and you're leading with 2 points. Only a few more seconds until you reach 100% and win the game. But all of a sudden something goes wrong. They recapture the point and you end up losing a game that you considered already won. This is incredibly frustrating and is usually caused by a misplay that didn't need to happen. Maybe you played Tracer and you really wanted to save your pulse bomb for when your Zarya was hitting a huge graviton surge, instead of just using it to get the enemy D.Va out of her mech real quick. Or maybe you were playing Soldier and you skipped over an opportunity to use your tactical visor because your Ana had her nano boost. Combining ultimates like that and going for big plays can be risky and is usually only needed if you need to get into a lead. Always think about the easiest way you could win the game. Sure, getting 4 kills with your pulse bomb is a pretty sick play, but most of the time getting 1 or 2 kills because you decided to take an opportunity you saw is enough to win the game, and a lot less risky. Don't get greedy.
You'd think that after 12 months of the game being out, players would stop staggering themselves from the rest of their team. I'm pretty sure staggering spawns was in our top 5 mistakes video that we made last year as well. The higher you climb in Overwatch, the more it becomes about being as efficient as possible. The attacking team want to play with as little engagements as they possibly can, whilst the defending team want to stall you out and force as many engagements as they can get away with. So if a team can seize the opportunity and stagger you, then they most certainly will. A good example is 3 people on your team have died and you're playing Genji. Really, you should either get out of there as soon as possible or try to die as soon as possible. It's why I see people jump off the map when a team fight is lost. Jumping around in the backline trying to kill their supports just isn't going to achieve much in the grand scheme of things. Not only that, when you eventually die, you've wasted 10-20 seconds since when you could have died, and thus wasting about half a minute of you just dicking around, then you dying, respawning, running back to your team who were there waiting for you and have been for quite some time. The same could be said for those, this really annoys me, those moments where you have people peeking around corners when the enemy have a Widow or a Hanzo. If you're a Zenyatta playing Iconvolt, you shouldn't be peeking around the first choke to try and take pot shots. You'll get hooked, slept, shot, killed with ease, and again you are wasting time and a good 20 seconds for you to come back. And then when you get back, somebody else has done it and the cycle repeats where you've wasted 1 minute, even 2 minutes of time of just waiting around, waiting for people to not be stupid and to not die. You want to be as efficient as you can be when it comes to time. If the fight is lost, die quickly or get out as soon as you can. And also don't peek around corners with no support from your team. You'd say that's a given, but you would be surprised.
Ignoring the objective. Now this may sound like a bit of a no-brainer, but you would be surprised how caught up players get in the heat of the moment. You find yourself in the middle of a tense duel and all of a sudden you realize the enemy Tracer captured the point behind you. Or maybe you are landing a really sick Earth Shatter, but the enemy Lucio snuck behind and pushed the car to the finish line alone. If you get an advantage, it's important that you always play around the only thing that will win you the game, the objective. Instead of chasing kills, you should help your team push the cart. Instead of farming damage on the enemy Roadhog, you should run past him to pressure the point. A Tracer that shoots the enemy backline can be ignored. A Tracer on the point, however, needs to be dealt with, or else she will capture it. The same also applies to mini objectives that are necessary to reach a greater objective. Maybe your main objective is to capture the point, but in order to do that, you need to wipe the enemy team, and before you can do that, you need to make sure that the enemy Mercy is taken care of. In those cases, it's important to not simply go for whatever finds its way into your crosshairs, but to actually go for the play that will lead you to taking the objective.
There are some things when you're using comms in competitive that sit and make you think, should I really have to say this? And one of them for me is don't use any ultimates. Being able to read the game, much like mechanics, is something that some players are better at than others. What seems to be a common huge mistake is using the ultimates in inopportune times, specifically when a fight is easily lost. Hearing your team's Genji pull out his blade and Warcry when 3 of your team have just died has to be one of the worst sounds in the game. Or when the Zenyatta uses Transcendence to run back quickly to the objective, even though not everybody that was on there is now dead. This definitely mixes well with the staggering point that we made earlier on, but it just boils down to being aware of having man disadvantage. Use the kill feed in the top right and use the tab button to see who's alive and who isn't, and also who has ultimate. Can you win this fight? No? Then don't use ultimates. The only person that should be using their ultimate after a fight to turn it around is Mercy to bring people back. And even then, just because you can res 4 people doesn't mean that you should. If the team have more ultimates than you do, you're just going to die again and you've wasted that ultimate in a situation where you didn't need to. Ultimates should be used to confirm team encounters, not to pick up a cheeky triple kill when the rest of your team has just died. Just please don't be that guy.
Maybe the enemies took both points on Hanamura in less than a minute. Maybe there are 3 people on the payload permanently while stopping you from contesting. Maybe you just got killed by a 6-man Dragon Blade. That does not mean the game is over. There will always be a first good play, and usually the team that gets it first increases its chances of winning dramatically, simply by demoralizing the enemy team. A game is rarely lost until the screen draws defeat, and I have experienced more than enough reverse sweeps on King of the Hill maps, going from a 0-2 to a 3-2, to say that you can always turn things around. If your teammates are negative, just mute them. Make sure that you always remain in a winning mindset. A big part of high-level play is mentality, and the moment you think you're a loser, you turn into a loser.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what your massive mistakes that people are still making are that maybe they don't know about. Obviously, it's like, oh, don't pick Hanzo, don't pick tall button attack, Symmetra, whatever. But more those situations where people may not know what they're doing and you're just trying to be helpful. Let us know below. Thanks again to Iostux. You can find all these details in the comments below. So if you want to get a coaching session with him, you can do as well. And until next time, take care. We'll see you then.